Welcome back, guys. Thanks for joining me for another beer review. Let me just do that, see if that helps anymore. We are back with another one, and the t-shirt, even though I wear it for work, is a clue to what I am reviewing, and it is one from the machine over there. So the Perfect Draft, right in the corner there, that one there. We're taking a look at a keg that is on there. It was released about 3 to 4 weeks ago. Sold out instantly. I think they must have had a limited batch. Come back in, instantly went again, and then about 3 days ago, it come back in stock again in a glass pack, and I thought I'm going to try and order it. So the beer we are looking at is from Italy. What am I expecting from it? I'm just hoping, I'm expecting the beer to be exactly as it is out of bottle, but hoping that it's going to be a little bit better from the machine. And the beer we are looking at is that one, Peroni. It's Nastro Azzuro. It's coming in at 5%. Now, individually, these kegs are £42.90, which I think is rather expensive. I bought it as a 2 keg pack with 2 free glasses. They like to tell you it's free, but let's face it, we are paying for them, aren't we? But yeah, and that coming at £79.90 rather than 90, more or less 10p short of 96 quid, I think. So there is a little bit of a saving there. Obviously, I'm going to get me discount, me keg returns on that, and obviously I've earned beer tokens on that order as well. But I actually used £20 of beer tokens towards it, so it coming at 60 quid for 2 kegs, 2 glasses. Yeah, I can't argue with that. 70 quid I think would have been a fairer price, but as in before the beer tokens, of course. But yeah, it is what it is, so that's what we're going to go with. So, incidentally, the beer has been dropped. I'm certain it used to be 5.1% in bottles. Whether it still is, I don't know, but in keg form, it's 5%. Yeah, it's 0.1, but stop tinkering with the bloody things. It does my head in. There will be another review after this one. I'm going to get the bottles, aren't I? I'm going to get the bottle and I'm going to compare the two, but I do fully expect this one to be better. I don't expect the beer to be any different as such. I expect it's going to be the same beer, isn't it? It's the same beer, but I do expect it to be different in draft form and probably better. So, I'm going to stop talking. The machine is over there. The recommended temperature is 3 degrees. That is what the machine is at the moment. Am I completely convinced that the beer is going to be 3 degrees? I'm not quite sure. The machine was down to 3 degrees already anyway. Yeah, it has its little temperature thing that it does. But the beer hadn't been in the machine for a massive amount of time or anything. It did go in the fridge for a little bit, which isn't at 3 degrees. I don't know. I'm not convinced the beer is going to be at 3 degrees. Anyway, set over there. I'm not going to do a video with a pour. I'm going to whack it in my nice Peroni glass, which I got 2 off. The other one's somewhere. I don't know where it's somewhere anyway. So, let's stop talking. Let's get over there, do the pour, come back, and let me start telling you about this beer. Right, we are back. Now, I'll be brutally honest. I tried doing a review before of this, and they were the first drinks out of the machine. Obviously, the kegs just turned up. They got quickly put in the fridge. They got quickly put in that. The keg would have been sort of stirred up. The first couple of pints, to be quite honest, were you were lucky to get a pint out of 2 because it was so fizzed up and just gone into the machine. So it made it hard work to do the review. The beer is still quite lively. Obviously, it's not been sat there for ages and had time to settle. But I have managed to get some sort of a pour. Now, initially, the first couple of pints I poured, very thick, sort of creamy head. That thickness at the head is not quite there. It's still it looks a very soft, sort of creamy head rather than a thick, dense, creamy head. There's quite a few big bubbles in there. The beer is a very, very pale, light, straw-looking beer. It's a nucleated glass, but there isn't an awful lot of carbonation going up. Now, the glass was cleaned not long ago, so maybe it wasn't perfectly dry. Wet glass would always kill a beer a little bit, and Baz is spilling it everywhere. But yeah, I mean, it looks like a very clean sort of lager. It looks like a lager. but it looks very clean. So I have had this beer before many a time in bottle form. I think the green bottles give it a skunkiness, but we shall see what we get from this. So hopefully, I'm not expecting too much, like I say, generic sort of lager, but hopefully the PD version is going to be a little bit more rounded, maybe, and a little bit nicer. So let's dive in on the nose. Yeah, not a lot going on. A sweet corn sort of note. A light maltiness, a sweet corn sort of note, a light hoppiness, I did say sweet malty note, didn't I? And just a touch of sort of like a lemon citrus, but it smells nothing nasty, to be fair, nothing nasty. There's no skunkiness in this, which, you know, you wouldn't expect from keg form, but it smells typical premium supermarket sort of lager. So without further ado, from the Perfect Draft Pro, Peroni and Nastro Azzurra, 3 degrees, 5%. Let's give her a taste. Cheers. Okay. Rate my beer. Didn't rate my beer, if you like, or this one. Simo said it was bland and dull. And yeah, it kind of is. But what do you expect from it? I've got to say, for me, yes, it's premium brand bland, but there are flavours in there. Very much similar to what you get on the nose. You're getting that slight sweet malty note. You're getting that lemon citrus note. I've gone all out of order here. You get a little hoppy bite. For me, it's got that hoppy bite of, say, a Heineken. A little bit of a hoppy bite like that. And there is a little bready note, a little malty, doughy bready note. The body, again, isn't too bad, I don't think. For 5%, the body isn't too bad. It's giving you that bready feel that sort of feels like it's filling it out. The beer is very smooth, it's got to be said. Carbonation is minimal. It's soft, it's easy drinking, it's pleasant, it's generic, but it's a pleasant generic. Some of these generic premium lagers that they call them can be a little bit shit. And the likes of this, and say Singer, the supermarket 660s, some of them are actually nothing to write home about, but pleasant enough and easy to drink. But would you get bored with them? Quite possibly. Yeah, there's a pleasant feel about this beer. I'm not massively anti it. It's got to be said. I'm not massively anti it. What I do like about it, from in my head, it's a much nicer experience than the bottle. Now, I will do that comparison between this and the bottle, but I do find the bottle a little bit harsh generally. This seems to be a little bit more rounded, a little bit more smoother. You could say a little bit more dull, but I don't think so. I think you get more flavour in this than the bottle from what I recall. You maybe don't get that big sort of hoppy, skunky sort of bite that you get from a bottle in this. I mean, it's an easy drinker. The 5%, it's drinking like a 5% lager. You're not going to expect too much to be going on in a lager. But for me, it's got a little bit about it. It tastes like Peroni, but which you'd expect, but just a little bit more rounded. Yeah, I mean, am I ever going to pick this really over Lowenbrau, Spate and anything like that? Probably realistically, no. But there's people out there that like this. For me, it's very much, it's got that typical sort of Euro premium lager feel. As I said, it's the premium lager. It's got that Euro lager feel, which, you know, in all honesty, a lot of people like. For me, I like Heineken on the blade, and this sort of has that little bit of a feel. Maybe not as much of that bite that you get from Heineken. It's more on the sweeter side, but you get a nice little subtle hoppy note from it. Yeah, so for me personally, is it going to be one that I'm going to go rushing back to? I don't think so, but if they kept it, it might be one I would have a little dabble in here and there. But I think for a lot of people that drink this sort of beer, will they go for it? I think they would like it. I do think they would like it. Will they like the price? Absolutely not. I think it's overpriced. So for me, I can see that being something that they won't be keeping. I think they're tapping into a minimal amount of kegs, get the sales from it, because they know silly fuckers like me, other beer reviewers and a lot of other people want to try it, so they can milk the price for the wallies, if you like. I don't mean that in a respectful way to everyone else, but yeah, I think they'll milk it, and I can't see it hanging around. But let's stop talking. Is the beer any good? For your generic, standard, everyday lager, I think it's quite pleasant. I think it's drinkable enough. Do I think I'd get bored of it? I think so. It's not something I would be chucking down my neck day in, day out. 2-3 pints of this in a little sitting, if you like, I could quite happily handle that. Easy enough, not too much to think about, nothing particularly nasty, and just easy drinking. If you like your German beers, are you going to be disappointed with this? I think you are. You got to be disappointed. It's not in the same league. But if you like your everyday sort of lager, this is probably going to be up there with most of your everyday stuff. So Peroni Nastro Azzurro from the Perfect Draft, 5%. Depends on your taste. But give it a go. Give it a go. I think even for the ardent German drinker, that's got to be worth a dabble. Expensive though, expensive. Try and get it on a deal. The only way I can see them selling that regular is whacking it on a 20% off, 25% off. But yeah, if you've had it before, let me know what you think. Feel free to comment. Thank you all for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. It's a long one, but hopefully it's a good one, but probably a boring one. See you on another one very soon. Cheers.